I am your host, Leah Dunlap, and you are listening to the Oracle on Purpose podcast, where we help intentional leaders clarify their purpose and next steps to create a work and life of significance. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I'm Leah Dunlap, your host, and this is Oracle on Purpose podcast. Well, I am so excited again because we are continuing this amazing opportunity to talk to so many beautiful people through the Podapalooza podcast event. And today, right now, my next guest is Amanda Bedell, and I love this. She's a chaos sorter. Chaos sorter. Don't we all need a chaos sorter? Yes. As a business chaos sorter, Amanda Bedell uses financial statements and step-by-step accounts to bring clarity and focus. You know, y'all know that's my favorite. Clarity and focus to business owners who want to make more money. Again, I'm like 3 for 3. I love it all. And if you'd like to see $75,000 or more hit your income statement in 90 to 120 days, wow, that's a great promise. Reach out to Amanda. I'm so excited to have her here today. We are going to dive right in because we have very limited time on these lovely little interviews. But I want to make sure we give Amanda a chance to talk to us about our favorite thing, which is, Amanda, thank you for being here. We would like to know, what brought you to do the work you do? I believe that everybody's here on purpose. We all have our own gifts and talents. So what brought you to seek out to solve people's chaotic problems?
Yes, thank you for that great introduction first, and then also the opportunity to share the story. The way I like to start is setting the tone and putting us into a way back machine. And that is to a hot August Tuesday in 2018. I wrote this passage on my Facebook page. It said, "In the review mirror of life, I will be able to look back on this time and see these experiences helped me receive my heart's desire in grace and in perfect ways."
Woo.
Whew. Yes.
Right.
But 4 months after I wrote that post, my life changed forever through a series of decisions that I had made over the course of 6 years. I lost my bakery business. So the reason why I'm sharing that with you now is that I am sitting in a brand new car, by the way, a Hyundai Ioniq hybrid, and staring at that review mirror. And I get to say to my reflection that I made it. Yeah. I'm okay. And I made it to that other side. It was a super painful experience. I had built a bakery business from one farmer's market booth into a wholesale manufacturing facility and a retail store. And we had 15 employees. And by the time I wrote that post, I had 4 credit cards worth of debt and emptied my 401k. So,
oh man, Amanda, we like to call that around here a 2x4 moment. When life says, okay, do you really, really want this? Then we got to take everything else and get it. So now here you are today. And tell me about how those lessons, that time has brought you to do the work you do today.
Yeah, I am like a lot of other entrepreneurs that get started. They see a hole in the marketplace and they try to fill it. And what I felt and what I am being now is what I needed back then. And what I had tried to do to get to business 2.0 is what I call it. So when you look out in the world, there are resources to help you with startup companies. And then once you get started up, it almost feels like it's a balloon that bursts all over you with 1,000 different ways and opinions on how to grow your business. So SEO, social media, this, that, it's all flying around you. It's almost like having a child where they tell you, everyone knows how to parent and everyone has opinions. Well, business babies are the same. We are told many different things. I was a part of Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program out of Babson College in Massachusetts, Boston, Massachusetts. And I also did emerging leaders and a few different, what I was hoping for 2.0 experiences. And what I got was this beautiful growth plan, but it was 30 pages long and I had no idea how to implement it. It says, you're looking at your goals, and it's increased marketing by 25% or increase my community by 150 people. But really that's as far as it gets, right? So that's where I step in now is where your accountant or your CPA or yourself, you've taken the stories and the experiences and the actions that you've created in your business and turned them into numbers. And now I'm going to take those numbers, we're going to go through it and find the strategies or the actions that you can do to change those numbers, expose what we really have control over, strip away the chaos of all of those line items. And, we really just need to focus on 3 different areas. And that's, the top line, the bottom line, yes, and our cogs and costs, overhead. Mm-hmm.
I love this because I often talk to my clients that, are women entrepreneurs and business leaders. And this is such a great piece of it, which is the overwhelm that they get to, and they feel defeated because they're not connected to the work they're doing, or they're overwhelmed by all this stuff. And the phrase we like to use is delete, delegate, automate. What are we doing? Let's look at these pieces. What do we really need to have? So I love that you have a strategy for people to understand, like, all of this noise, right? That is business. That it doesn't all need to pull your attention all the way. And we do need to kind of find that focus. I love that. What do you think that your work produces in the world? With the work that you do and the people you help, what is that positive impact you feel you're making in the world today?
Oh my goodness, so much positive impact. I do want to just say that's really great, the stripping and automating. And, what I do is hold up that magnifying glass to the 20% of items that are actually generating 80% of your income. We all know the 80-20 rule, but how is that applicable to our businesses? It really is that 20% of our clients are generating 80% of our revenue. Or if you're pre-revenue and you're not quite there yet, 20% of your actions are generating 80% of your revenue. So when you're looking back at that 20%, and how I illustrate that 20% is leads, conversions, transactions, pricing, and profits. And if you're doing a lead generation strategy and your primary lead generation strategy is social media, how is that performing? Mm-hmm. And I illustrate this because it's very easy for people to understand, but social media for me is a conversion strategy. So you see how it's different if I'm approaching social media as a lead generation strategy or a conversion strategy, in that no one is looking at my content and saying, oh my gosh, I can't wait to work with her because she's saying all of these different things. It's just not happening, right? We're getting clients out in the wild, and that's what I call that. And really what it is people hear me on podcasts, see me on stage doing speeches, and they are doing their due diligence. They're looking me up and they're verifying that I know what I'm talking about. So it's a conversion strategy. So when we have that clarity, then we do know how to move forward, and that we might need to look at a different lead generation strategy. And then we're not on the hamster wheel too. Right. Like you said, I want it repeatable. I want it predictable. And I want to make sure that I'm able to automate it if possible. So then I also forgot your actual question, which is something about purpose, but I went on a rant.
Well, I think a lot of what you said is very true, in that that's that the person who's actually struggling in that state, by having these tools and resources, we're allowing them to do their work, which of course will then make a bigger impact in the world. But I always think that we can look at ourselves and say, is what I am doing making a difference? And I think that a lot of my clients that come to me are really seasoned, if you will, in the work in the world. And part of what happens is they hit that plateau or they hit that ceiling. And then that's the question that's kind of teasing them in the back of their mind. And so I like to ask that question because I don't think we often stop to ask ourselves, do I feel as if what I'm doing, I can see the trajectory, the ripple effect it makes in the world. And I know it's there. I know for sure it's there for most people. I can't say everybody because I don't know everybody, but I'm always curious to see what people think about when they're doing their work, if that's something that they hold. And so that was my curiosity for you as you look at what you're doing. What do you think that impact is?
My vision is that it's lifting the tide, lifting all boats, right? And a rising tide lifts all boats. And that when you are able to touch and when you're able to have a purpose-based business, have the impact that they need, and that includes having a financial lifestyle that they can live with that's not reliant on credit cards. I just go back to the bakery, being a bakery owner and putting that hat on, and that I was active in my entire community. And by the end of my experience, I had 15 employees and their families. And I was impacting all of those people. And when you have the ripple effect of increasing the net profitability of that business, you now have room and space for parental leave rather than it being a negative thing and another tax on top of businesses that are already strapped. We now want it to give it to people because we have the access. When we're coming from lack, we can't. We're like, oh, these people want everything from me, and I don't know how I can even do it. And all of these rules are for companies that are bigger than mine. But at the end of the day, the statistics are that more than 85% of businesses are less than one person.
Wow.
And that really the top 10% of businesses have 4 people and gross $250,000 a year. That's the top 10%. That's all Goldman Sachs data, by the way. So when we're looking at that, that means that the economic drivers are the solo entrepreneurs, those that have 1, 2, 3 employees. And when they are successful, just think of what could happen in the world if we were living the comfortable lifestyle of what we anticipated business ownership to be.
I love that. And I want to let that sit and marinate for you all. This is such an important piece that we see business ownership as this shiny knight on the horizon, but it is all these other things. It is business, right? And it is we build someone said to me the other day, a lot of my clients are, moving millions of dollars, and we're helping them to build and create things and make millions of dollars. And she laughed and she said, your group, your people, your clients, they're actually their own economy. Mm-hmm. And to your point, yes, that is part of that ripple effect when we have an ability to take our economy personally and make a difference in the world. That is definitely a powerful impact. So what you do matters in that way too. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. It's so important. And when we go back to that lead generation idea, when you're able to partner with the folks that are just around you, just down the street, I work with website builders and content writers, and they serve my customers after my customers get to me, or those folks that serve them before me, the accountants and the business lawyers and folks like that. We create our own ecosystem, and it's much more stable than relying on these larger businesses that are in. And frankly, I know that this is also dependent on who we're talking about, but the inflation and troubles getting and access to stuff coming in, it's so different when we're working with people that are here. And I know that's not available all the time, right, but there is some stuff that is available all the time if we're working locally.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
In ecosystems where we can support each other rather than supporting the Googles and the Facebook ads and using, larger companies to provide your lead generation.
Great. So as people are listening to this and thinking about their own their own P&L. And as you were mentioning, like all of these, the 20-80 rule, what is the one thing, like if we're in the elevator and the door's about to close, what is that one thing that you would like say, wait, there's just one more thing I want you to know before I go? What is it? Tell me now.
One thing. So the last thing that I would like to say is that if you're struggling right now, and maybe you've made decisions that turned out to be failures, remember that you're going to have a review mirror moment. And that I want you to take a deep breath and just think of what you want to take away from this and write it down so that you can say it to your future reflection.
That's it. Who are we talking to in that mirror? I love it. Thank you so much. Yes, what we take from any moment, right? No failure, only feedback. What is in this for me as I move forward in the world? Thank you so much for being here, Amanda. I appreciate you. I appreciate the nuggets of wisdom you were able to cram into our little conversation today. I know that people probably have more questions, more ideas, want to know more about you. So tell them how they can reach out and connect with you in the future.
Thank you. So in the show notes, we'll have a special link that is just for those of you listening to the Oracle on Purpose. So it's chaos2calm.xyz/Oracle on Purpose.
I love it. chaos2calm.xyz.
Yes.
There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching us, staying with us, listening to us. We appreciate you. She's absolutely right. If wherever you are right now, if you're in one of those moments, like we like to say, where you just got hit with the big 2x4 of life, know that you can take something from this and make something amazing. The ripple effect is positive and powerful. And thank you again for sharing that chaos to calm as the final word for today. Thank you again, Amanda. I am Leah Dunlap. I am the Oracle on Purpose. This is the Oracle on Purpose podcast. Remember, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you're absolutely here on purpose. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for tuning in to the Oracle on Purpose show. If you found value in this episode, we'd appreciate you leaving a comment. Also, you can subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't yet. If you'd like to get clear on your highest vision and next steps, go to oracleonpurpose.com. See you next week.